I just got my boat docked there, gang. Welcome to a brand new series on the channel. That is from the mind of my friend Krusty. Was not anticipating him coming out with a brand new challenge, but he did. It intrigued me, so we're going to go and try to take this challenge on as well. Now, it's not really going to, hopefully it won't cause any kind of major effect to what I've been talking about. It will not cause any effect to the new Triple Threat Challenge coming out soon. The other one that is still kind of being in the works, maybe it pushes it back a little bit, I don't know. But nonetheless, we're going to take this on. Now, this is called the Island Preservation Challenge. What does that mean? Well, there's a lot. There's a lot to this challenge. Everything's down below in the description. But I'll try to kind of go through it as we move along here. Long story short, we have to own the entirety of the map here. We've got $100,000 to start, no debt of any sort right now. We have $100,000. We have to own the whole map at some point. We don't necessarily have to farm the entire map, but we have to own the entire map. And as you can tell, there's quite a lot of spots. All the spots in the middle, almost every one of them, I think, are $40,000. If you go around the outside edges a bit, they can get a little bit cheaper. Example, like 26 years is 32,000. You can go even cheaper than that if you want, 12,000, right? And so on. We've got to pick one of these plots of land to start with our $100,000. Now, I think I'm going to pick this one, which is Field 72, Farmland 72. Krusty picked 55 when he started his out, but I think I'm going to pick 72. So let's go ahead and start off by buying that first thing first. Now, we don't have anything. We don't have any equipment. We have nothing at all. So we have $67,999 to our name to try to see what we can come up with. In the used market, there is a nice tree transporter, but it also has the ability to do bales. Now, this is quite expensive. It will take a lot of our money. I'm not quite sure this is the smartest investment for us right now. And nothing else here really is calling my name. So maybe we buy the trailer, but let's at least look at the tractors first, because we're going to need a tractor. We'll go through the details here as we move along, but let's at least get the setup stuff going here, and while we're driving to our plot of land, we can go from there. I don't want anything super expensive, but we need something that's going to have some power to it. Now, these are lizards, which I think Krusty, his mod has forward on it. These are what he's using, which are not a bad option. Matter of fact, it's probably the best option we have. I'd hate to utilize the exact same thing he's using, but, you know. All right, so while I'm going through this, I started talking about what this series is really about. So, as I mentioned, you have to own the entirety of the map, but at the bottom left corner, which I will show to you here in just a moment, there is something else we have to own. So there's an island. Now, that island specifically, what we have to do on that island is we have to... You know what, I'm just going to keep everything else as it is. Let's go ahead and buy it. So at the bottom left-hand corner of the map, there's this island, right? And to get it, you have to buy plot 74, which comes with 2 squares, and then plot 64, which comes with 3 squares, right? On this island, we have to build our dream home. Well, what does that mean? Well, it has to be a constructible home we have to build on this dream home here. Long story short, there's a bunch of government rules and regulations. Again, everything's down below. We are not allowed to sell any trees, meaning if we cut down a tree, we have to utilize it for a construction project like the home, right? We cannot actually just go up and take all these trees off the land here and sell them. We have to actually utilize that for a construction project. The same thing goes with stones. The stones are again regulated by the government. I'm not allowed to go and just sell the stones outright. I can utilize them for construction projects, cement, etc. Otherwise, not possible to do that. Now, as you can tell, there's quite a lot of trees on here, right? If we do chop down one of these trees by the end of the year, or this end of the same year cycle, we have to put down 5 tree saplings in replace of that. It's very much environmentally cautioned, this island, so we've got to be very cognizant of that. So really, we probably don't want to do a whole lot in regard to removing trees if we can help it because of that reason, right? We're obviously going to have to remove some to build our dream home here on the island, but that's not really the main goal of this one, right? So, the The constraints on this one is where things get a little crazy. So I just talked about the wood, and I talked about the stones, right? I talked about every time we cut down a tree, you got to plant 5 saplings in the same year. We're not allowed to develop on any of this sandy beach all the way around. This cannot be developed of any sort, so I can't put any kind of building of any sort on the sandy beach of anywhere. The only restriction, the only clause to that is whenever we decide to come over here and start working on our home, we can do some land modification to terraform a way over here. Or figure out another way, I guess. I'm not sure if it's going to allow me to do it on console or not. Hopefully it does. But I haven't tested it. We'll come to that when the time hits. We're nowhere near that right now, so I'm not too worried about that. The other big thing is the actual area here for selling, our sell point. You can see the barge is on its way here now. It cannot accept grain or any crop of any sort. It has to be in a pallet form. Right, so if we're going to sell anything here at the harbor, it has to be in a pallet form. Now, there's a couple things I need to talk to Chris about. There's a little bit of a gray area, but they're pretty sure at least that I saw a mod out in Mod Hub that takes your grain or whatever crop you have and will put it into an actual pallet form for you. I'm not sure if that's going to be allowed or not, but there's that option potentially. But regardless, if not, even if it is or if it isn't, everything that we sell to make money has to be in a pallet form. No chemical fertilizers or herbicides are permitted. We have to go very much organic, which means we've got to utilize slurry and manure, etc. to our advantage, right? So I can't put down solid fertilizer. I can't put down herbicide. I can't put down liquid fertilizer. None of that is allowed. So it's going to be very difficult, and it's going to push my limits a bit. We're not allowed to have any kind of a buying silo or a buying point on our land. We have to buy everything here at the shop and transport it back. We are allowed to place down sell point, but it has to be adjacent to here. So it has to be in this land here, or this land here. Those are the main constraints. Now, the main details of everything, we'll kind of get into that here in a minute. Let's just make sure we get everything else we need here. So we've got our tractor. We've got 59,000 left. It's not a ton of money, but we need to go ahead and get started here. We need a mower. The problem is we're probably going to be utilizing, it's not even probably because we don't have tons of options here, and I don't think this has a 3-point hitch on the front, does it? It does not, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't one there anyway if I wanted to even put one there. So we're going to have to utilize our old trusty double bar mower. I don't know what blue to make this. I kind of want to keep it matching a bit. I guess we'll go with that one. I guess it's close enough. I'm going to go black on most of the rest of this, though. I kind of like the look of that. All right, so $5,000 for the mower. And then we're going to need some kind of a baler. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, what are you going to do with the bales? The bales are actually not considered a pallet, so I can't just go and sell bales. So my main goal here, the reason why I'm doing this is because we're starting on a plot of land that literally only has grass on it. I'm going to be taking the bales and I'm going to put them into some kind of a goat or sheep enclosure. It's just a no-brainer, way to go. You're going to get pallets out of that, so that's the way to go about it. So that's what we're going to do. Now, baler-wise, I think we're very limited here on the balers that we can utilize. We can go with this baler here. This is probably a decent approach to go with. $12,000 might make more sense. Maybe I should get a front loader for this. Because if I go that approach, the only other approach to go with is the liftable bale and pallet mod square baler. Auto loading and all that kind of stuff is allowed. Well, like I said, we'll go into this in more detail, and I'm literally just following all of the rules that Krusty is following, with the exception of one. We'll talk about that in a second again when I go into more of the finite details of this. I just want to try to get ourselves set so we can actually get started. As a matter of fact, right now we can get started with what we got, so let's just go ahead and do that. We'll figure out the baler and the trailer here in a moment. So I'm going to kind of talk you through here what we're doing as we head on up to our location here. Let me go ahead and turn this off just because I don't like having that on. I'm just going to make a shortcut here. I'm just going to drive right through here, and on top of that, I guess if I have to. So, yeah, this is the Island Preservation Challenge by Crustu. make sure you check him out. I'll put a link down below in the description to his account as well, or his channel as well. So basically what we're doing here is we started with $100,000. As you saw, we had absolutely no debt whatsoever. The economy is our choice. I'm following Crusty to the T, with the exception of one thing, like I mentioned a little bit ago. So he's playing on normal. I'm playing on normal. No loans are allowed. We are allowed to lease things, which is going to help us tremendously, right? So maybe that's what we do. Maybe we lease the baler. I don't know. But we are allowed to lease things. Contracts we're not allowed to do, although there's only 2 fields on the whole entire map that we could even do a contract on. Seasons are off, which I don't normally do seasons off, so this is going to be a little bit different for me. Starting month is August, and it's going to stay August for the entirety of the series. So that'll give us plenty of time to do stuff, and without seasons on, it's not going to really matter anyway. We're just going to be going through the time it takes to get everything, you know, set and ready to go. Crop destruction is on for me. He has it off. That's not the one I'm talking about, but he has it off. I always have my crop destruction on. I'm going to leave it on. I just like crop destruction on. It makes me, you know, have to be very specific when I'm going somewhere and making sure that I'm not killing whatever it is. So I'm going to leave it on. Periodic plowing he has as on. Which we're going to have on. Weeds are on. Stones are on. Lime is off, so we'll have the lime off, which will be different for me. I normally always have lime on. Disasters on. Snow, we're going to turn the snow off. We're going to be in August the whole time. There shouldn't be snow anyway. Auto load is yes, so we're definitely allowed to utilize auto loading. Now, on console, there's limited auto loading stuff, but there is the ability for us to do some auto loading, and we're going to probably utilize that to our advantage to an extent. Super strength he has on. I don't have the luxury of having that kind of super strength. The only super strength we have is the liftable bale and pallet mod. That's the only thing we have. We don't have the luxury of anything else besides that. The way I'm going to get around it is for the next item. So the next item he has is that auto sell is no. I am going to allow myself to do auto selling since I don't have the luxury of super strength. So I can't, you know, just pick up tons of stuff and you know, huck it up on a trailer and get rid of it. So I'm going to allow myself to do auto loading. Now I'm going to have a couple of rules around that. Specifically, I'm going to allow myself to do auto selling when we have a ton of stuff. When we've already got lots of land, we've got lots of things to do. I'm going to allow myself to do auto selling at that point. I'm going to lose a little bit of money in the process by doing the auto selling, but that's okay. I'm still going to allow myself to do that. I'm still going to follow the rest of the restrictions and the rules and you know, on everything. But any products that I might have that I can auto sell, I'm going to allow myself to do that when the time comes for that. But again, that's a ways down the road. It's not going to be anytime soon, so nothing really to worry about right now. And then the mods are 100% your choice. You can pick whatever mod you want. He said the only restriction there is to kind of refrain from anything that is super overpowered. And the way that I'm going to get around that is the same way that I always get around that, is if I have something put down that is super unrealistic, the way I'm going to go about it is I'm just going to make myself wait a whole month before I'm able to do any kind of selling of that item. So an instance would be as if, or an example of this instance would be, you know, if I put in 80,000 liters of wheat and I got, I don't know, 60,000 liters of flour in the same exact month that I put that in there, I wouldn't be allowed to sell that. I'd have to wait to sell that until the following month. Does it make sense? Just like we're doing the one tile challenge, right? Just like we do there. That is really the best way for me to go about doing that. So those are the main rules and the main objectives here, gang. So to own the whole map, we have to build our dream home on that island. The only way we can chop down a tree is if we are willing to utilize it for a construction project, regardless if it's the island or not. We can do other construction projects if we want to, but every time we do cut down a tree, though, we've got to be very cognizant of the fact that we've got to plant 5 saplings within that year's time. So I'm going to be doing everything I can to not chop down too many trees, especially early on here. We're going to be going pretty heavy here on the grass mowing, and we're going to be putting down some different productions as well to try to help us out here. Now, we've got $54,499 at current. A lot of this money is going to go towards productions, and that's why I'm saying maybe we just lease a baler, even though probably owning a baler would probably in the long run be a lot more of a smarter investment for us. I just think with only having $54,000, I think it might be a bigger benefit for us you know, to put down some productions that can make us some money. More specifically, things like greenhouses, right? I think that's really where the money is going to help us out tremendously, is being able to put some stuff down right now, you know, that will eventually give us pallets within the next month even. So that's the way that I'm going to go about this. That's the way that we're going to tackle this challenge, at least early on. And then as we start to gain a little bit more funds and more money, you know, we can pivot at that point and make some changes as necessary. But that's the way I'm going to go about it. So now, I talked earlier, very beginning at least, about, you know, the Triple Threat Challenge. It's still coming. After I got back from the trip that I was on, a lot of you had ideas and thoughts about certain maps, and none of the ones that anybody said that I saw were any of the 2 maps that I had kind of narrowed it down to. And a couple of them I hadn't even looked at. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more time this week to kind of look at those and just verify and make sure that I'm making the right choice, right? The Triple Threat Challenge, I want to make the right choice for that map. And you had some other ideas, so I'm going to take a look at those. But the Triple Threat Challenge will likely be starting at this point, probably next week. Probably late next week. But yeah, we'll have the Triple Threat Challenge real soon. Real soon. This is not impeding the start of that, with the exception of the fact that I'm going to be spending a little bit more time looking at the maps that all of you mentioned that I should check out. So I need to spend some time looking at those. I don't want to just load up the map or just look at the images. I need to download it all. I need to go into it. I need to drive around it a little bit. I just need to get a feel for it and see if I think it makes sense. This, like I said, came out of left field. I didn't even know Krusty was working on this type of challenge, so if I would have known that, I might have, you know, considered doing this one before working on another one, which I'm already working on another one. My members know about it. I'm not going to say anything about that one here because, like I said, it may slightly be delayed because of this one, but I think we can still figure out a way to run all 3 of these without any real problems, right? I mean, it might make you wait a little bit longer for a certain series, maybe, and maybe that's not the smartest thing to do, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think we'll be able to do all 3 of them in kind of a tandem situation. This one's going to be a very long series, right? So it's not necessarily that this one has to have 2 or 3 episodes every week, right? We could occasionally just do 1 a week. It's not going to be that big of a deal in my eyes. So I'm kind of just mowing a little quadrant here. It's actually a pretty decent quadrant, but I'm mowing this quadrant for a reason. One, this area up here is relatively flat. It's some of the flatter area that we have. And this is kind of where I want to start putting down some of the productions, and I think it makes a lot of sense for us to mow it first, get some of the grass up off the ground before we put down the production, right? So, first thing I'm going to put down is I'm not sure yet if I'm going to do goats or if I'm going to do sheep. Maybe I do both. I don't know for sure. I'm also not quite sure which pen I'm going to utilize for them. You know, the smart thing I think for me would be to utilize the one that we're using in the competitive one-tile challenge. But as I've mentioned many times before, and to be fair, we're already utilizing the sickle bar mower here, the double bar mower, whatever they call it in this one. I do the best I can to try not to utilize the exact same equipment, productions, things like that when I have a series actively running. It's not always going to be the case. I've mentioned that many times before. Sometimes there's just nothing for it. We do have a much more limited amount of things that are available to us on console. So, you know, sometimes I can't work my way around it. I have to, but I do like to change it up. So if I can find something that I can utilize that will change it up and not use the same thing, then so be it. But it certainly is likely not going to be able to hold as many sheep or goats as the ones we're utilizing in that competitive one-tile challenge, right? So we'll figure it out as we move along, I guess, but so yeah, very high level. Take away all of the super finite details we talked about. Very high level. Own the whole map. Build our dream home. Make sure we limit the ability that we are not allowed to just chop down trees and sell them. We're not allowed to pick up stones off the ground and sell those either. They have to be utilized for a construction project. Since lime is not being utilized, we can't even take the stones and make lime out of them. It's going to be challenging, man. This is going to be a challenge. It's going to be fun, though. I like that the mowing is getting rid of these big, massive bushes, too. That's really nice. All right, when we get down here to the end, I'm going to say that is enough mowing for right now. So now we got to make a decision. And the way I'm going to go about making this decision is relatively simple. Can we fold? Thank you. The way I'm going to go about making the decision is relatively simple. One, we're going to go into the... let's do a quick autosave here first. But we're going to go into the construction menu. And we're going to look and see as far as what I have installed right now. I really haven't installed anything extra for this series. But let's see what we have here. So this is the one that Krusty's using. I've used this many times in the past. I do like it. It's only $5,000. Like that's the key thing about why you like it. The only other real option we have, I mean, I guess I could go with this one. I've used this in the past as well. I do like this one a lot. I like the fact that it has room in there that I could have a bit of a shed, if you will. Although it's probably really more for the you know, the bales and things. But cannot place fence here. That's probably because it's outside of my land. So I don't know. I kind of like this idea too. But this is, you know, I mean, just do the basic math here, right? This is taking up a lot of money, right? A lot of money. $20,000. We can go with the one that we utilize in the, you know, competitive one tile challenge, $4,000 or $2,000, right? Or we can go with the old school one that's $5,000, right? There's some things to think about here, some options to think about. The other thing is I want to put some greenhouses down. Now, I don't have anything specifically new for this one either. It might not be stuff that you've been seeing in the one tile challenge, like I mentioned, because, well, quite frankly, we don't have everything turned on. But yeah, there's some options here. You know, I think we'd have to go with the smaller one here, but I think the problem with this is, you know, it's going to require manure and seeds and everything else, and really, as fine as, you know, I'm fine to do that, but it's going to take up a lot of money quickly. So I think early on it might be more beneficial for us to steer clear from those type of things and just go with, you know, something that's going to give us some money with just basic water, right? So it's probably going to have to be, you know, one of these, right? They're not cheap, right? They're not cheap. We've used the crickets too much right now. I really can't do that. The coffee we could use, but the problem with the coffee is you really need the production. That production's $50,000. That's not really going to fly for me. We could go with the cactus, I guess. But, you know, the cactus, we're utilizing that too right now, so... Ooh, there is something else. Really? Yeah, it's a push mower, though. It's going to be slow. That's 4 miles per hour, but you give me that. Oh, it's $20,000. Never mind. Never mind. We don't want that. $20,000. This, I just feel like we want this. Even if, like, it's not the most beneficial right now, I just feel like we want this. What else do we have as far as like auto load trailers go? This one I know is an auto load trailer. I think we should go with this one. I think we should go with this one. This is the one that the guys are using in the one tile challenge. I'm not utilizing it, and I won't be utilizing this in that series. But this is, I think, the one we should go with. Yeah, I think we should go with this one. Let's make the chassis black. Let's make the main color this blue. And we can buy this one. It's only $1,000, so we can definitely buy this one. Yep, we're going to buy it. Alright, so now the decision comes down to, are we going to buy a baler or not? The problem with... See, I kind of want to buy this. I'm not sure if the balers are going to auto-load, though. I feel like they don't. I really feel like they don't auto-load. Maybe I should go test this really quick off camera and see before I make that kind of a big decision, right? I mean, we can lease, like I said, we could just lease something, and maybe that's what we should do. Maybe we should just lease. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna test it out, gang. I don't feel comfortable doing that. We've got to be very, very, very careful. Ooh, that cost me more money. It cost me $2,800. I thought it was only $1,000. I must have missed something. Oh well. We'll get the trailer right now, but I'm gonna be. I need to test that. I need to be very, very careful of that. The worst thing that we could do is buy that and then it not work, and then I just lost $7,000. I love these Ford tractors, though. These are some of my favorite tractors. There's actually, so I think I've talked about this before. My wife is from Kentucky, and on the way to her family's, well, her hometown, I guess. I was going to say her family's hometown, but it's her hometown too. On the way to her hometown, whenever we go visit her family, there's a used like tractor farm equipment dealership, and they've got a couple of these old Fords. It's makes me want to stop and buy one. I have absolutely no need for one. I don't have the land. I wish I did, but I don't have the land to own one. But I wouldn't want anything bigger than this. This would be plenty big enough, and I don't even think I need these big chunky tires that are on here. These tires are gigantic. I thought they were just large tires, but then you actually look at them. I should go around. I should go the round. I should stop doing that. But you look at them, then these things are massive. But actually, it's probably going to help us out a lot, because this is just a two-wheel drive tractor, right? So it's probably going to help us out tremendously having that. I probably should have put a front weight on this. Whoa, we did a jump. So I'm going to get the trailer back, and like I said, let me test this out. I'm going to go and do another jump. That's great. It's going to be fun every time we do that. I'm going to go outside of the game save and load up a different save file somewhere and just basically buy that baler, mow a tiny bit, bale it up, and see if this trailer will pick up those bales or not. I don't think it's going to. I guess the other problem is, now that I think about it, even if it does pick them up, I can't pick them up by hand, so I'd have to put them, depending on which one we get, I'd have to put the grass right there on the trigger point, or we're not going to be able to get them to go into the trigger for the sheep, right? So, all right, I've got some things to look at. Give me a minute. Well, it's only going to be a few seconds for you, but when I'm back with you, we'll have the idea about what we're doing. Okay, so it does work, but I thought about it some more. I don't think this is the smartest investment for us, because this one doesn't have the ability for us to be able to kind of utilize a little bit of an unrealistic attribute to it and kind of take a little bit of a wider width, right? So I don't think it's necessarily worth it. Also, at the same time, I don't necessarily know if I want to buy the $22,000 square baler either. That's a lot of money. That's going to take up a lot of the money, right? It's almost double the amount we were going to pay for the other one. So, I don't know the answer here. If we lease, I just think leasing is going to be too expensive, though. Like, leasing is going to cost us $1,137. I don't know, maybe it wouldn't be. Maybe it wouldn't be too much to lease it for a little while. I don't know. I mean, all we really have to work with right now is grass, right? I think we buy it. I think we buy it. If we need to sell it later, we can sell it. We might lose a little bit of money in the process, but that's okay, right? That's okay. It is what it is. It's ours now. We own it. Leaves us with $28,899, which is not a ton of money. I do think this, from a smart perspective right now, you know, the bigger... the bigger pen for the sheep and goats, I would love to have it. I just don't think it's financially smart right now. I think we're going to go with the old-fashioned one. The same one that Crusty's using. I just think that is our smart play right now. So I think we'll go with that one. Yeah. Yeah, I just think that's the best approach right now. So we're going to go with that. We're going to get the grass baled up here, and then we will spend a little bit of time figuring out exactly where we're going to put that sheep pen. And then, with the remaining money we have, whatever that ends up being, we need to buy some kind of a water tank, first of all, first and foremost. Probably a cheap, inexpensive one that's not going to hold a whole lot. The barge is also moved over to there at this point. And then put down a greenhouse or two, a bare minimum. Some kind of greenhouse. I'm not quite sure which one we're going to put down yet, but we need to get some other money incoming besides just the wool or the goat milk, whatever we decide to do. Honestly, I don't really know which of the two I'm going to pick. Heck, maybe I do both in the same exact pen enclosure. I don't know yet. But for now, we got to get this grass mowed or picked up, so let's get all of that done, and we'll go from there. All right, I got all that cleaned up. I decided, you know what, I'm going to push my luck a little bit more here and try to get as close to the edge as I possibly can, because that's going to help me as we move along here, figuring out, you know, where my boundaries are, especially if I can utilize this to our advantage, right? So I pushed our luck a little bit more here. So we're going to get a little bit more grass out of this for sure. I've got to clean up a couple of these areas here where I got a little bit too close. But we're going to get a lot more grass out of this as well, so I think it's worth it. Now, realistically, my intention here, my goal here is to likely put the sheep up in that corner. I just think that is the best spot for them right now. I think, realistically, I want the fence to kind of go towards the border area, in the actual shed area where the actual food goes and the water and everything else. I think that's going to be more closer towards that way, towards the actual beach and towards the ocean, if that makes sense. At least that's my intentional goal here. Now, one thing I didn't talk about, at least I don't think I did, and if I did, I apologize, bear with me, I'm going to say it again right now. We are not playing precision farming. I've been doing precision farming a lot. No precision farming on this series. Crusty, I don't think he's using precision farming, at least. If he is, then I guess I'll pivot, and then, one of the future episodes we'll shift to it, but I'm almost positive he is not doing precision farming, So So we can actually go a lot further up this hill than I thought. Because we are still mowing. There we go. There's the no access to land. So it is a lot further up this hill. Interesting. Okay. Well, I guess there's a lot more here to do than I thought, so I've already done a couple time lapses, I know, but you know what? I don't have much else to say, so let's get right back into it, and let's get this area all cleaned up, because I really want to get the sheep down before we end this episode. And as I mentioned, if we have the time, this is going to be a longer episode than I normally do, but if we have the time, put down a greenhouse or two, because we're really going to need that money come next month, or next episode specifically. We're going to need it because, well, quite frankly, we need those pallets so we can sell some stuff and actually make some money here. We're going to utilize a good chunk, if not all of the money we have left over here, so we really need pallets to be coming in so we can actually make some money. So, yeah, let's get the rest of this done. I'll get it all mowed up, we'll get it all baled up, and then we will get it all picked up with our trailer. And that trailer is working out fantastic, by the way. It's fantastic. It works really, really well. Very happy with it. Alright, so let's go ahead and put down this pin here. Now, I think, as much as I would like to customize it, I don't think really that's the smart play right now. We're not going to be able to have all 25 sheep in here anyway, right? So I don't think that's necessarily the right play in this instance. As much as I would like to, you know, drag it up the hill here, I'm not quite sure that's the play that I should be doing right now, because we have a lot of other things we want to put down, as I talked about, a lot of other things to buy as well. So, how does that look? Do I need to smooth that out a little bit? It certainly looks like I do, doesn't it? Let's try to smooth this out a little bit. Because that did not look great to me. It's going to cost a little bit of money up front, but this is going to make it worth it. It really is. This is going to be so much better overall for us. I'm going to try to put it back down kind of in the same area it was in, if we can do so. Alright, let's try this again. So we spent a little bit of money. It wasn't anything crazy, though. Right? It wasn't outrageous. It's not perfect, but you know what? It'll work. It will work, and we can try to smooth out the edges a little bit more. But yeah, that will work. Like I said, I would love to bring it up the hill here, but right now, just not really in the cards. Not really worth the time. Okay, so we need to buy. Oh, that's a mower out there. We need to buy a water tank. All right, what do we got here? What do we got? Honestly, as much as I would like to have this one, I think we're going to have to hold off. I think we're going to have to get this cheap one for now. It's not the most ideal situation for us, but, you know, right now we're kind of hurting for money a bit, if you will. So I'm going to make it blue. I like the blue there. Oh, shoot, it changes. It costs me $80 to change that color. Is it all the colors? It is all the colors. Dang. I thought, for some reason I thought this was free, but evidently it's not. The rims are free. Alright, well, whatever. It'll be brown, I guess. Not the color I would love to have, but, you know, we need all the money we can get. I know $80 doesn't sound like much, but $80 is $80. I didn't even get the wide tires. You all know, if you've been around for a while, how much I love the wide tires on all my vehicles. So, yeah. We can always upgrade later. We will. It's not even, we can. We will upgrade later. So let's go pick this up. We'll bring it back. I'll be back with you when we're heading over to the ocean to get some water for the sheep, although it seems a little weird filling up their trough with salt water. I don't really think that makes a whole lot of sense. As a matter of fact, how far is the lake in comparison? That's a little bit further than this would be. If it lets us take the water from the... Maybe it's not the ocean, right? I'm saying the ocean. Maybe it's not the ocean. Maybe we're just on an island in the middle of a river. I mean, we don't know, right? We don't know. Or maybe we're on an island in the middle of a lake, right? In Ohio, north of Ohio, there's a lot of lakes that are gigantic. You can't see across them, so we very well could be on some kind of a big lake. But it does sound like an ocean if you listen to the background. Sounds like waves crashing. You're going to have a little bit of waves, but they're not going to be very big waves that are going to be crashing on a lake. The only waves you're really going to have are, you know, the wind that's pushing the water, really. Anyway, I'll be back with you in a second once we get the tank here. It's definitely waves crashing in the background, but when I was driving past to pick this up, I, you know, took special care to look, and the water really doesn't move at all. So we're going to say it's lake water, even though it's certainly not sounding like lake water, and the locale and the sandy beach and everything. You know, there's some sandy beaches, sure, but still doesn't quite compute, excuse me, to that. But yeah, we're gonna say it's regular water. Oh boy! All right, well that is a problem that I was not expecting. We're going to have to put a front weight on this. Holy smokes, look at this thing. Whoa. We're just going to do a wheelie the whole way over here. It's working, so I'm not really going to complain about it. I mean, it is two-wheel drive anyway, right? So the wheels that matter are on the ground. But I can't turn right now. Oh boy, this is bad. Oh my gosh. Just when I said, oh, you know what, we're going to be okay. We're going to make this work. Just when I said that, I had to put my foot in my mouth. Alright, well, this is not going to work in the situation it's in. I'm going to have to go get a front weight. Alright, front weight acquired. This should fix the issue we were just dealing with. You can see the front weight right there. Easy peasy, baby. Now, it wasn't too expensive. It was like $330, $340. I could have got probably a smaller one, but, you know, at the $300, I was like, I might as well just get the bigger one. We're going to need it. It's going to continue to happen if we don't. All right, so we can drop the water off there. All right, so that is full. So let's get some animals put in here, and then whatever's remaining, we can try to put down some kind of a greenhouse, right? I think, is the animals in here? Or is it the other side? It's the other side. There it is. Perfect. All right, so do we want sheep or goats? I mean, we can only, evidently holds 29, which Interesting. I thought it said 25 on the thing. I didn't change anything, but evidently 29 is the number. Okay, well. I think I'm going to go goats. They're the same price, so it doesn't really make a difference. I don't want to buy too many. Again, we don't have a ton of money here, right? I think 5, and I'll let I'll let them reproduce for the remainder. All right, we've got our goats. Our goats are in. Happy about that. Let me turn this back off. I said all this at the beginning, but if you want to see it really quick, just so I can prove to you that I'm not doing anything different than what Krusty's doing, there you go. You get to see everything right then and there. So you can pause that if you want to see it, but anyway. Okay, so construction. We need to bring some grass over here, and I will do that here in just a second. But we got to make a decision here on the greenhouses, right? We got to make this decision. We're going to have to put the greenhouses going this way, I think. 17,000 is all we got. And it's not a lot of money. The coffee requires something that's not allowed in this series, so there you go. Coffee's gone. We can't do coffee. Part of me wants to do manure. Part of me wants to do the orchard. We don't have enough money for it, but part of me wants to do this. I think it would be a fantastic addition that I've never ever used, so it could push my limits a bit, if you will. This stuff would be great to have, but again, we don't have any manure, and we're not going to have any manure for a while. Basically, it's just an extension of the regular greenhouses. It just adds more crops into it. It's the same price across the board, so not anything crazy there. I can't even put a medium one down. Oof. Oof. I guess I could do saplings. Hold on. How much are saplings worth? That's a great question that I don't know the answer to. Here we go. I got to scroll for an hour. I'm not going to say it. You guys that have been around for a long time know I already say it, but I'm not going to say it. Rice saplings. There we go. Rice saplings are worth a decent amount of money. And we could go the approach of doing rice. We could go that approach. That might not be a terrible thing to choose from. Alright, I'm going to do a sapling one. Why not? Let's do it. Why not? It only requires water. It's quite large. I should be able to put a couple of them down. Wait a minute. Which side? They spawn on the right side? Is that right? I don't know. It's been so long since I've used the basic one, I don't even remember where they spawn at. It doesn't even tell me there, does it? Will it tell me over here? No, it doesn't say. Okay, if I use this one, will it tell me? Still no. I feel like it's the left side, but I mean, I don't really know. Well, I mean, Well, I tell you what, we're getting pretty far along anyway. Let's just put one down, and we'll make the decision from that on a future. Okay. Did it mess up the ground at all? A little bit, but I don't think that's terrible. And now you get to see it. Now that it's spawned, you get to see it. So it is on this side, so we're okay. We can figure this out. I'm going to do another one. Okay, evidently the land's not owned by me here, but it's exactly the same as that one. Interesting. Well, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at 1 for right now. We've got 14,000. I'll leave it at 1 for right now. Let's go ahead and top that off with some more water. Like I said, I've got to smooth this area out a bit, but... Alright, so quick save. Let's get this going. Storing is fine. It can only hold 2,000, so one more load of this and that will be good to go on that. Now, we don't have a ton of land left here, but we still have enough that we can mow a lot more grass, too, right? We've got a lot more grass that can be mowed. We need to figure out what we're going to do as far as greenhouses go. I might go out and do some more research between now and the next episode to see what else we can find. In regard to greenhouses, although I'm not sure for those of us that are on console, Mod Hub specifically, I don't know there's much more out there for us. We are struggling here with a full tank. It's the beginning, man. It's growing pains at the beginning. It's going to be a struggle. It's not supposed to be easy, this series. I think that's one of the main reasons I was so drawn to it, is because it is going to be difficult. Sometimes the difficulty plays a pivotal role in issues that come up, and just issues for me in general, and that's at your own enjoyment, right? Alright, you know what? I'm going to leave this water tank right here. We've got one other thing to do. Where do I want to put these at? I guess... How do I unload with this thing? Unload bales. Whoa! Well, I'm gonna knock all these over here, aren't I? I put that water tank in the worst spot possible, didn't I? Go figure. That went well. All of those perfectly stacked bales are now all screwed up. That's all right. All right, so let's give the goats here some grass here. Should be able to pick these up easily with by hand, and we can. Now, honestly, this grass that we have over here, it may be enough grass for quite a while. So we're going to have to figure out something else to do. More animals, something. Are we full? We must be full. I'm going to leave that one right there, then it'll accept it whenever it needs more. But yeah, there you go, gang. That's the start of our island, challenge, if you will, with Krusty. And I don't know who else is taking it on. I have no idea, but... It's going to be interesting, man. This has been it's been a bit of a struggle at the beginning, actually. It's been a pretty severe struggle, as a matter of fact. But, you know, we'll get through it. We'll figure it out as we move along, like we normally do. Things will get better. We're just beginning. We've got a lot to do. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the like and subscribe button. If you're new here, especially, make sure you hit that subscribe button for me so you can stay up to date whenever I release a new video. Thanks to my members, I cannot thank them enough. If you want early access to videos like this one, including the competitive one-tile challenge, there's a link down below for you. There's a Discord link down below as well, which is completely free to join. Check that out. And until next time, we'll see you all. in the next episode.